Hey, what's up everybody? It's Daley here in the Caribbean. I hold a certificate in weather forecasting from Penn State University. Let's take a quick look at the Global Tropics Hazards Outlook that has been issued on June 10th, 2025. Alrighty, my friends, let's jump right in here. We are currently looking at the Global Tropics Hazards Outlook that has been released by NOAA's Climate Prediction Center today on Tuesday, June 10th. And as we can see, according to this outlook, the Atlantic Basin is looking pretty good for week 2 and 3 into the future. This is essentially covering the rest of the month of June and into the very beginning of July. The Eastern Pacific Basin is a different story. It's been very busy, and I will show you a little bit about that in just a minute. I do want to read you that across the Atlantic Basin, strong and persistent ridging would provide an unfavorable environment for development overall during the outlook period. By the way, I just mentioned strong and persistent ridging. That's what's causing some of the wind. I'm standing outside, and we're getting a lot of breeze because of high pressure over the Atlantic. However, the Climate Prediction Center also knows that development, should any occur, would be limited to the Bay of Campeche. There is modest support in the dynamical model guidance for a subtropical or tropical system to develop just offshore of the U.S. East Coast, but confidence is too low to depict a hazard on the outlook. So that is why, my friends, we are not seeing anything highlighted in the Atlantic Basin for really, well, basically the rest of June. That includes the 7 days from now. Today is June 10th. In the next 7 days, as I can show you right here, there is no cyclonic development expected. I am in the U.S. Virgin Islands. High pressure is dominating across the Atlantic, giving us a lot of wind. You can hear the chickens. They are probably enjoying the wind as well. The Eastern Pacific, my friends, is a different story. Eastern Pacific has been busy. We've had 3 named storms so far. We've had Tropical Storm Alvin, Tropical Storm Barbara, which briefly became a hurricane, and Tropical Storm Cosme. Luckily, Cosme and Barbara are basically going to fizzle out over the next couple of days, so we're not too concerned about that. However, swells that Barbara generates could bring some high surf across some of the coastline here in Mexico. So certainly be aware of that. Also, the National Hurricane Center is watching yet another area south of Mexico for potential development, possibly later this week. I'll keep an eye on that for all of you. As I mentioned, I'm here in the Caribbean, so the Atlantic is really my focus, but I want to make sure that I'm keeping everybody as updated as possible. I want to leave you in this video, my friends, with a look at the global forecast system, the GFS for short, courtesy of tropicaltidbits.com, that was initialized at 12 Zulu time or 12 Universal Time Coordinated, which translates to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 10th. This is a run of the GFS. Look at the high pressure here. It's just dominating, as I mentioned. That's why we're getting breeze here. As we can see, if you keep an eye on the Eastern Pacific Basin, also the Western Caribbean, we do see some spin up of a couple systems down in the Eastern Pacific Basin. That's very consistent in what we've been seeing and what the models are predicting. The GFS has been very bullish, my friends, basically all through the last week, maybe even longer, on something spinning up in the Western Caribbean. Look, here we go again. On this run, something spins up in the Western Caribbean and heads toward the Gulf. The timing has been different. We're now out looking at June 26th here, right? So we're still very far out in the future, and the GFS timing for these systems has been different, consistently different. So that's an interesting way to phrase it. It's been the timing has been a little bit. It's been pushing further into the future, but something does look like it will spin up. We'll keep an eye on it. It's really too close, too hard to tell right now, too far out. But if we look at the European model, this was initialized at 00 Zulu time or 00 Universal Time Coordinated, which translates to 8 p.m. last night on June 9th Eastern Standard Time. Now, the European model has been consistently showing development over in the eastern Pacific as well, but nothing really in the Atlantic basin except this big high pressure that has been here over us. But see, check out the system over a couple systems off the east in the eastern Pacific basin, and some moisture moving through the Atlantic basin, but nothing really too substantial materializing on the European model, and that has been the case also for the last week, maybe longer. So, my friends, that is the latest from June 10th from the Climate Prediction Center. Please make sure that you're staying prepared for anything that could potentially develop. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. I will be here in the Caribbean throughout hurricane season to help keep all of you posted. And stay safe. And as always, I will keep an eye on the tropical skies come rain or shine.